When I first heard about Anthem, I immediately thought what you probably also thought, and that is, does this game look a lot like Warframe to you, or is that just me? Well, obviously the two games are kind of inspired by the same thing, and they follow like somewhat same concepts. But I do think that in some ways Anthem does look a little maybe too much like Warframe in some ways. Or no, I wouldn't say too much, because Warframe is a pretty good game, I think. So yeah, why not learn from the best, right? But like anyway, these are just some things that I thought were like kind of similar between the games. It's for no particular reason this video. I'm not claiming anything. Yeah, just some similarities and differences here and there. That's all. When the game starts out, you're in a sort of single player instance where you can choose your, equipment and upgrade your weapons and so on. In the case of Warframe, that is in your ship, and in the case of Anthem, it is on a city. And here's the twist. See, Warframe also has a city where you can prepare all your things and go on missions in like the big open, which you also do in Anthem. And I might be losing my mind a little bit. Is it really me, or do these cities even look kind of the same? Obviously, Anthem has the better graphics. It's a completely new game. It's just been released. It's not even properly released yet as of making this video. Warframe is an old game, and it's also free. Did I mention that? And even so, I still think graphics in Warframe are not bad at all. So every Warframe player knows that the true endgame is Fashion Frame. And that is basically just looking as badass as possible. So you have to acquire some different colors and some different attachments and stuff to look good as fuck. So you can get all these colors and attachments during special events, and you can also get some for farming elite missions. But mostly you can get it from buying it for like, real money. But actually no, it's not real money, it's in-game currency. And remember, there's a trading system in Warframe, so you actually don't have to spend your own money. You can just trade some item for some in-game premium currency, and then you can buy what you need. Customization is pretty elaborate. You can change all kinds of colors and do poses and different attachments, and you can get like some logos spray painted on you, and you can choose exactly the size, the color, and where they are, and everything is pretty elaborate, and you can come up with some pretty unique and creative designs all by yourself. So this is definitely a big part of the game, and it's actually pretty damn good, if I must say so. Now, Anthem basically takes this customization to a whole different level, where they add not just colors but also textures, which might be good, but it seems a little bit just like a gimmick to me. You don't really pay much attention to the texture when you're in a mission or something, but maybe you do. I don't know. I play max graphics, but I didn't really notice it a lot when playing the game. But it's fun, the fact that you can just do it. I like that. It's a good detail. Haven't seen it before. It's a good step toward some real end game. So I'd say it's pretty similar here. They both put a lot of emphasis on a lot of customization and freedom of choosing like whatever makes you look unique and stand out. So yeah, they're pretty similar on this aspect here. Now, you can't mention Warframe without also mentioning the art style, which is something that's really unique for this game alone, and that was what really caught my attention in the beginning when I played it the first time. So Warframe is kind of like a little bit futuristic with some like very unique features. A lot of it seems like Asian inspired, like kind of samurai-ish, which is definitely cool. Very few games can get too much samurai stuff in it, so that is definitely a plus. Also, the Warframes look kind of like it's hard to describe. They're like a little grotesque, and so the enemies. It's something that just sticks in my mind. I actually remember after seeing the cutscene for Warframe the first time, the night after that, I actually had some nightmares about War, the evil guy. He left such a big impression on me, so this is definitely something to remember. Now, Anthem go for a more like down-to-earth approach, where it's like, you know, people look like people, and the robots, they look kind of just normal-ish. The only like special thing I notice is that there's an extra joint on the robots, but that could be like, you know, to prevent falling damage, something like that. But I don't know, other than that, it looks like a futuristic Middle Eastern mix-up of culture and stuff. So it's also pretty special in its own way. I like it a lot, actually. So it didn't leave like such a big impression on me like Warframe did the first time, but still I actually do like it a lot, and I'm looking forward to the story also, which I have not experienced yet. So that is good for in both ways. Great art styles. I like them, both of them. Very good. And modding your weapons, that is actually something that was very fun in Warframe, because you can actually change the properties of your weapon or Warframe a little bit. It's kind of like they do have a problem with, you know, sometimes that, you know, there's just one correct build for everything. You know, like one Warframe has the build you need to do, and one weapon has the build that you need to do. But still, you can come up with some alternatives, and sometimes you can come up with some pretty insane creations. Like, for example, the Nova, it's supposed to slow people down, but if you mod it with something with negative strength, it actually speeds them up. And that's good for, you know, missions where you need to get enemies to spawn faster. So yeah, that was kind of fun, you know, and I like this in games where you can kind of break the system and hack it in a way, you know, use it for things you're not supposed to. And that is something that Warframe allows for. I like that a lot. Now, Anthem, they also have, like, it's the similar thing. It's like, but their modding is more like, you know, I have a weapon in my shoulder, I shoot it, but what kind of weapon do I shoot out from it? So that also means that you kind of change the skills a little bit by, you know, firing off different kinds of missiles and so on. And that could also be pretty interesting. I haven't played it enough to know, like, to the extent of how much these weapons, they kind of synergize with each other. But I've heard some rumors that this is actually a lot, so that, you know, your weapons and your skills, they have, like, perfect synergy with each other. And that is, it's a little different from Warframe, but still, it is also really nice. But still, I'm also afraid here that you're kind of locked a little bit into, like, you know, just whatever deals the most damage, just do that. So yeah, time will show once I get to play it a little bit more, like which one is better, if anyone is better. But anyway, similarities here, but not the same either. And now on to the actual gameplay. So actually the gameplay looks a lot similar, and there is one big similarity that I found actually kind of funny. That is that both of them kind of focus on, you know, traversing the environment as fast as possible. So in Warframe you have to do, you know, like bullet jumping plus rolling and some other tricks that can make you move as fast as possible. And Anthem, that is about flying, and then you have to fly low and close to the water. That way you can also move as fast as possible. I thought that was like a fun gimmick that both games seem to focus on, and I like it in both cases. That's actually kind of fun. It makes movement less of like a chore and more of sort of like a challenge. Other than that, then the game modes, if you can call it that, seem similar as well. Like, there's no game mode as such in Anthem. It's just missions, but it's compiled of sort of game modes like defending and exterminating and stuff, and that's exactly the same as you do in Warframe. So that actually is kind of similar, like to, you know, the open world missions in Warframe, for example, you know, Plains of Eidolon. There you also do a sort of like one type of mission after the other, which is exactly what you do in Anthem. But a big difference here is that in Warframe it's not so much a matter of whether or not you complete the mission, it's more a challenge, like how fast you can complete the mission. And in Anthem it's actually kind of a challenge, and I did fail a few times, and I did also die, and I rarely do that in Warframe. That is just, you know, turn off your brain, have a lot of fun, and wreak some havoc. And finally, I want to talk about the biggest difference here, and that is the pricing, where Anthem is like a fully priced AAA game with in-game purchases in the shape of cosmetics, and Warframe is just free. You can buy cosmetics and stuff if you want, and you can also just, trade with other players and get them without ever paying anything. It's basically impossible to compete with Warframe when it comes to good monetization of a free game. They are absolutely killing it out there. They are the best game that I know about. So Digital Extreme, you are forever gods of the free-to-play model. Thank you very much for the creation that is Warframe. Yeah, and I would leave you with that, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a great day. See you around, guys.